I don't believe that you were created to just be a consumer. Exactly. You were created to create. To create wealth. You were created to create things that you love and leave wealth for generations to come.
How do you see your kids in their 20s?
I believe that those conversations starts at home and it starts at the dinner table. Some of the things that my husband and I do that we've become very intentional. Yeah, we have a 4-year-old, we have an 8-month-old. From the moment our children are born, we get them a piggy bank. Our 4-year-old, she has a piggy bank, a bigger piggy bank, which is her investment piggy bank. The way we structure their finances so far, before they even turn 18, they're millionaires.
With my kids, I always tell them, like, there's no handouts here.
Nope.
There's hand ups.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hand up, but there's no handouts. If everybody's doing it, it's like we're changing a generation. Like,
definitely.
The next generation, is going to be better than us.
Exactly.
Now we're live. Ooh. We are live here with financially savvy girl, one of my really good friends. We know each other for like now going on 2 years. Officially this month, 2 years.
It is.
But we have a past, family, friends that we have in common. And I'm surprised that we haven't really connected up until this point.
I'm surprised too. Yeah. And I knew of your businesses growing up, and but I don't know. I think our path was just not meant to really meet until we could create wealth together.
Well, I love having these lives, especially with people that I respect and admire. And I think you're a powerhouse of an investor and an entrepreneur. You have this financially savvy empire that I want to talk about. And so just kind of like share with our friends, because this is like, this is going to live here forever, Aqui.
Wow. Pressure.
But share with our friends how the movement, the financially savvy movement, started.
Oh, man. Yeah, for sure. So I'm Aqui, and my Instagram handle is financially_savvy girl. And financially savvy girl started because in 2017, I had a daughter. My husband and I, we gave birth to our first child then, and it was a daughter. And she inspired this. So I was, in essence, writing financial literacy letters and notes for our children, our daughter.
To leave behind.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, too, at that time, I was, very much so involved into mentorship. I was mentoring a group of young women and stuff, and I was sharing with them some of the tips, financial literacy tips. And they were like, why is this only shared here? Like, we don't have this information back then. And, you got to remember, this is like 2017, 2018, like this whole movement of like financial literacy. Now they're talking about having it in schools and building wealth, generational wealth, was not really something that we spoke about to this extent openly in Canada.
What about in your household?
Oh my God, household, definitely not. And I think this is something, and it's not from a lack of want. Oftentimes, especially if you're coming not from the Western culture, right? Like immigrant family and parents, they're coming in, they're trying to figure it out as well. They don't necessarily know the in and outs of how to succeed from a financial literacy perspective here. And when you come here, you get thrown, credit cards, you get thrown all these things. Oh, just put things on credit and you can pay after. So people do this.
Instant gratification life. The Instagram life.
Yeah. And they do that, with, I think it's purposely done to create consumers out of people. And it takes another level of understanding.
Which is okay.
It's okay. But I don't believe that you were created to just be a consumer.
Exactly.
You were created to create. To create wealth. You were created to create things that you love and leave wealth for generations to come, right?
What's funny, as you're saying that, I'm looking back at how I grew up, like we came to this country as refugees, immigrant family, and my mom, like there was never any talk about like what's the rent like? What's
Right.
what? How does credit work? Mortgages, all that stuff. Like we never talked about that.
Yeah.
What's changed in your household now? Like what are the things that you do differently to create that awareness
Right.
for your kids? I mean, one, you have a little baby, but I mean, you can still start them
Yeah.
young, you know.
Yeah.
So, what are the things that you're doing that some of our friends could like, take on, some of those habits or things that you're doing?
Oh, for sure. Um, I believe that those conversations starts at home, and it starts at the dinner table. And some of the things that my husband and I do that we've become very intentional. Yeah, we have a 4-year-old, we have an 8 months old. So from the moment our children are born, we get them a piggy bank. Right.
Mm.
So our 4-year-old, she has a piggy bank, a bigger piggy bank, which is her investment piggy bank.
Mm.
Intentionally making it bigger.
So you have like investment piggy bank, and you
Yes.
have a
savings
savings.
and spending piggy bank.
I love it. I love it.
And
That is really, I
Yeah.
love that. So,
and then a giving, like she has like a giving envelope as well,
Nice.
because we're teaching her the importance of giving, of saving and investing, and the importance of having just a little bit, the leftovers, what you spend. And that's key. And she already understands that now. So when she sees money, she goes, okay, mommy, this is for my investing. So she has that. And she also has a bank account, right? And we intentionally take her to the bank when it comes to her saving. We take her to the bank physically. She holds a little savings, and we go to the bank. It's time to empty your and put it to your bank. So she empties it so that you can make room to receive more. Investing, when we buy, she has an investment account. When we buy stocks, for her, or even when I buy stock on a weekly basis. But I involve her sometimes. Mommy, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just buying. I like this company. What company do you like? I'm like, oh, I know you like Disney. Okay, well, let's look into that. Do you have enough money in your investment? Okay, let's see if we can buy you a little piece of this. Is this something that you want to do as well for your birthday? Okay, stuff like that. And she's interested. She's at the point where she's about to turn 5, and she asks questions like, okay, mommy, for my birthday, where am I buying stuff? And then we also intentionally involve her when we do certain things in our real estate, because we heavily invest in real estate as well. We go with her. She sees, okay, mommy, daddy, this is our house too, right? But someone else lives in this house. Yes, someone else lives here. We're providing a home for them, but it's still our home. And okay, so but they live here and they take care of it. Yes, they take care of it. We have to make sure everything is well for them as well. And we get her involved so that she understands the importance of, first of all, giving back, the importance of investing for your future, even with the little that you have, because if you can be trusted with little, you can definitely be trusted with more.
I love that. As you're saying all these little things that you do with your kids, I also imagine all the people that we know that do very similar things, and it's like if everybody's doing it's like we're changing a generation. Like,
Definitely.
The next generation, is going to be better than us.
Exactly.
Especially if it starts at home.
Exactly.
Right? No, I love that. And so what gave you that passion? Like,
so I graduated from law school, 12 years ago now. And
you like 13?
Like, I don't want to say black don't crack, but black don't crack.
Looking good. Yeah. So I mean, you look very young, but I mean, you 12 years ago you graduated.
12 years ago, I became a lawyer. So I guess 13 years ago I graduated. 12 years ago I became a lawyer. And, I did graduate pretty young, in my early 20s as a lawyer. And it was great. To the world, it's like, wow, she's so young, she's graduating, she's achieving things. And to me, I loved it, but I was crippled with a lot of stress and anxiety because I had law school debt, and I had a lot of law school debt. And, you get to the point where, you have a car, you have school loans, and then something that happens in professional school is as soon as you start professional school, literally there's tables lined up of, banks offering like line of credit. They're offering like credit card. They're offering everything because they know at the end of the day,
just wrap you up.
High professionals make the best consumer because there's income coming in,
Mhm.
and let's just keep them indebted. Let's just keep it rolling. So, and you get all this, and then you're paying for school with all of that, and there's nothing wrong, I think, to take loan for the purpose of schooling if you have no other choice.
Also, if there's whatever it is that you're taking in school, you're going to be able to get a return.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
You when you're a lawyer now, I mean, there's enough income there to pay you, right?
Right.
I often see, and I'm not going to talk about the specific degrees, but I see people taking degrees where there's no the jobs. When you finish let's say you do a 4-year degree on something that the jobs are very minimal, and you may not even be interested in.
Yeah, the value does not match the investment.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So they're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time too, even for professional schools, there's all these loans that are taken, and I know a lot of lawyers who are broke.
Mm-hmm. I know lots of them that are broke. I mean, like, if they don't know how to they don't know how to manage their money.
No, and a lot of people don't. So people think because you have high degrees or whatnot that you know how to do it, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember going to banks. Graduated, you have these debts. I'm like, okay, how? I'd like to structure things. I'd like to know how to do this. And automatically, one of the response was turning a line of credit into a loan. So an open line of credit, turning it into
without having training, right? Like they give you all this credit, but no one says, okay, this is how you use your credit.
Exactly. And you definitely, when you become financially literate and savvy, you realize that how can you allow someone to turn a line of credit, that is a revolving credit, into a loan. So the interest rate owing becomes on the entire amount as opposed to on just the part that you have used.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a problem in itself. But when you're not literate, you don't understand these things. So you just think they're working in your best interest. And then I remember having a financial coach and I had all this money saved up. I'm like, okay, I'd like to know what to do with it. They're like, oh, pay off your car. And I did that, paid off my car, credit score moved by 1 point. I was like, what's going on? At that point, I said, enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not relying on banks. I'm not relying on someone else making decision over my finance without me being at the table where decisions are made and being an informed participant.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took financial literacy into my own hands and just learned everything that I possibly could about financial literacy. And that's when things completely started turning around. Paid off all the personal debt, and we just started building. And and with the real estate as well, added to that, understanding the good debt aspect of it, and now turning debts into something that is actually benefiting us.
Mm-hmm.
And
good debt.
Yeah, good debt.
Yeah.
And completely avoiding the bad debt. So my philosophy is you can definitely grow in real estate as an investor, multifamily investor, understanding good debt, mm-hmm. and also minimizing your exposure mm-hmm. to bad debt. So that's kind of my edge.
How do you see your kids? Let's say, how old's your daughter right now?
She's 4 years old. Yeah.
4 and then 8 months.
Yes.
Okay. How do you see your kids in their 20s?
Oh, wow. First of all, the way we structure their finances so far, before they even turn 18, they're millionaires, mm-hmm. right? And they're millionaires from just market, never mind even the real estate. Mm-hmm. And that's even, as we know, real mm-hmm. estate is just the best way to invest. Let's mm-hmm. be honest. Mm-hmm. That's even way more. And I say this with humility because the reality is we want our children to stand on our shoulders. Mm-hmm. to understand that, you know what, you are now in a position where we have built for you and our children's to come to take over that. So I think there's already that stress that stress that I had, that they won't have when it comes to education. That's going to be taken care of. However, we want to make sure that we're not raising spoiled children, and that's really important.
I love that you said that, Aqui, because with my kids, I always tell them, like, there's no handouts here.
Nope.
There's hand-ups.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hand up, but there's no handouts.
Exactly.
And everything has to be earned,
Yeah.
right? And, like, what I see a lot is, like, especially with like, let's say the first generation was not well off.
Mm-hmm.
Now they get maybe a higher paying salary or whatever, and then they give all of it to their kids.
Yeah.
Right? Everything they make, which parents would love to do. If my mom had means, she would have given me everything, but she didn't have it. But she would have if she could have, right? Because, we want to pour everything we have into our kids. But then if we give everything to our kids, everything they want, then there's nothing left for us. And then they, now you become a burden on your kids because you never invested in that nest egg that can help everyone, right?
Exactly. And that's key.
Yeah.
But concepts such as like buying you a car at 16, that's not gonna happen. It can work to buy.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot of, and I've seen it. Like when I was growing up, I would go to my friends' houses, and their parents gave them everything. I'm like, this kid is lucky. Like, what's going on? And so very different than the way that I grew up. And the best thing that happened to me was having the desire to want stuff, and then having the creativity to make it happen. Yeah, and so I wouldn't want to take that away from a kid. But also, it's a balance, because you also don't want them to like hit themselves and. Like, you don't want to hit a wall, you know what I mean?
But that's why we're eagles.
Yeah, exactly.
You let them, the eaglets, you just let them fly, and right when they're about to hit, you pick them up. But you gotta let them experience life. You have to let them.
I love that.
You have to let them experience. Otherwise, they won't learn. They won't grow. And if you just give them everything, as opposed to teaching them how to get it, you're doing them a disservice, in my humble opinion.
What is something the world doesn't know about you?
What is something the world doesn't know about me? I am a woman with big dreams and an ability, like an inner strength, to be so damn consistent and perseverant that they can only come true.
Determination,
consistency to the highest.
I think that's why I respect you so much.
Thank you.
And I know that a lot of people are going to be inspired. And it's such a funny thing, because what YouTube does, it shows you the viewership, like where people are coming from, and we have people that have subscribed to this channel from all over the world.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Not only that, the subscription base is growing, and we're gonna expand. And what happens is, like, usually when someone discovers this channel, they'll start going back and watching all of the videos.
Right.
And this video here will live here for a very long time. And so for someone out there that maybe didn't grow up in maybe their household didn't have the finances, maybe for whatever reason they feel stuck, like it's just like they want to be financially literate, they read some of the books, they know they're doing something wrong, but nothing changes, because whether it's like they don't have enough income, they don't have an emergency fund, and so they feel like they're just in this rat race. So what would you say to those people? Like, what would you say? What would be the words that you would say to those people?
I would tell them that no matter where you are on this journey, I want you to be encouraged that your tomorrow can be greater than anything that you even imagine. You just have to be intentional about the steps that you take. This is why I created Financially Savvy Girl. I would tell them that I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like to live paycheck to paycheck, even when you make a lot of money. I would tell you that money guilt and shame is holding you back. Get that out of your system. That there are actually people out here wanting to see you grow, and there's a better way to really start building wealth in a way that you're fiscally responsible. And I would tell you that honestly, just be willing to invest in yourself, your knowledge, your understanding, and also reach out. Reach out for help because, as I always say, we have two hands. One is to help ourselves, the other is to help others. We're here. I'd like to help you grow. Alfonso wants to help you grow. We're all here to help you grow. So please don't hesitate to reach out and let's get you in a better position.
Woo! I love that. Aqui, Instagram.
At financially_savvy girl.
And make sure you spell it right, because financially, some of us could.
FINAN.
Yeah. And you got a podcast too.
CIALLY. That's financially. Yes, the podcast, Financially Savvy Girl podcast. And this new season is going to be all about real estate, guys. All about real estate.
All right. We love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Alfonso loves you.
We'll see you at the top.
Yeah.